Hey guys, today I'm going to teach you and help you understand how to go through and find the solution for area problems that involve circles as well. Let's get started. We know the formula for a circle is a equals pi r squared, but sometimes we are asked to find the solution, find the area of a composite figure that involves a circle or parts of a circle that is joined to a triangle or rectangle or even a square. I'm going to show you some examples to help you understand how to find the solution of these area problems. Now let's do the first one. The first question says, find the area of the following figures correct to 2 decimal places. So this figure here, we notice it's made up of a rectangle with sides 18 and 15, and it's also made up of a semicircle. So we have to find the area of the rectangle and the area of the semicircle and then add them up to find the total area of this figure. Let's start by working out the area of the rectangle. It's always good to split up the figure into 2 shapes, sometimes even more than 2, but in this case 2 shapes, the rectangle and the semicircle. We work them out separately and at the end add them together. The area of the rectangle, we know that A equals LB. The area of a rectangle, the formula is L times B, length times breadth. In this case, the length is 18, it's the long side, and the breadth is 15. Let's work out the area. Grab your calculator. 18 times 15, 270 square centimeters. That is the area of the rectangle. Now we've got to work out the area of the semicircle. The semicircle, well, we know that the area of a circle is A equals pi r squared. That is a full circle. We don't want a full circle, we only want half a circle. So we multiply it by half. Now we can work it out. A equals pi times the radius. Now hang on, we haven't been told any radius on top there with the red dotted line. We need to find the radius. We know that the bottom, which is the length of the rectangle, is marked at 18 centimeters. That means the dotted red line on top is also 18 centimeters. It's the other side of the rectangle. So if that is 18, the radius will be 9. It will be half that. It will be half that. So half of 18 is 9. 9 squared, that's our radius. Radius squared times half. Very important to notice the information and to look carefully at the diagram. I always tell students, zoom in, look at the diagram, the figures in detail. Sometimes there's information that you need to look for before you can work anything out. Now, put it in a calculator. Pi times 9 squared times a half. The area of the semicircle is 127.2345, just to help you understand. And of course it's going to be in square centimeters. Now we're going to add area of the rectangle to the area of the semicircle. Let's do that. The total area is 397.23. We know it was 397.234, but we know it's 2 decimal places, and correct 2 decimal places, 397.23 square centimeters. Always remember the square. This is the total area of this figure, made up of the rectangle, made up of the semicircle, and then we add both of them up. 270 plus 127.23, and we get our answer, 397.23 square centimeters. Let's do another 2 examples. Okay, the next example. We can tell that we have another question that is an area problem that also involves circles as well. When we look at this diagram carefully, we can see that this figure is made up of a semicircle and a triangle. So we have to break it up just like we did before. We break up the figure and we work out the area of the semicircle, the area of the triangle, and then add them up. Let's do that. We'll start with the area of the circle. A equals pi times the radius squared. Again, the semicircle, it is a half of a circle, so we have to times it by half. Very important not to forget that. Pi r squared is one full circle. We only want half the circle. Pi times, now the radius. We know that the red dotted line, the horizontal red dotted line there, it is the diameter of 6 centimeters. Now we would like to know the radius. Half of 6, the radius is half of the diameter. It's going to be 3 squared times by a half. Okay, let's work out the area of the semicircle on top there. Pi times 3 squared times a half, 14.1371, and it keeps going. Then, now we're going to work out the area of the triangle. What's the formula for an area of a triangle? You need to know it. Half times base times height. Area of a triangle, half times base times height, or BH over 2. Two different formulas. They are the same though. They are written differently, but they are the same. Half times base times height. Let's work it out. Half times the base of the triangle. We can see that the triangle is actually upside down. So the base, in fact, is 6. The base is 6, and the height is 8. The height is 8 of the triangle there. We can work it out. You can grab your calculator. Half times 6 times 8. 6 times 8 is, of course, 48. Half that, we know half of 48 is 24. Just in case you would like to check through your calculator, half times 6 times 8, 24 square centimeters. Now we add area 1, which is the area of the semicircle, and area 2, the area of the triangle. We add them together, 14.1371 plus 24 and you're going to get 38.14 centimeters squared, again to 2 decimal places. 38.14, that is the area of this figure made up of a semicircle and a triangle. Always double check. Always double check. Make sure you've done your working out correctly. Make sure you've inserted the numbers and everything in the calculator correctly. Add area 1 and area 2, and we're going to get 38.14 square centimeters. Let's do another example. Okay, the next example. Look at this one carefully. It looks like a funny shape, but we can tell that we would like to find the area of the red shaded region inside. If we look carefully, we can tell that in fact it is actually a rectangle. It's a rectangle 12 centimeters long and 7 centimeters wide. However, 2 semicircles have been cut out. A semicircle on top has been cut out and a semicircle on the bottom has been cut out. So now we would like to know what is the shaded region, what is the area there. We need to find the area of the total rectangle minus the 2 semicircles. Look carefully. We have a rectangle 12 centimeters long and 7 centimeters wide, but 2 semicircles, one from the top and one from the bottom, have been cut out, which makes this shape. Let's work it out. We're going to work out the area of the rectangle first. Take away the 2 semicircles. The area of the rectangle. A equals LB. A equals length times breadth. The length is 12 and the breadth is 7. 12 times 7, 84 square centimeters. That is the total area of the rectangle before the two semicircles are cut out. Now we're going to cut out, take away, minus the two semicircles. The two semicircles, we notice they are the same size. So we need to only work out one, then times it by 2. The semicircle, we know, area equals pi times the radius squared, that is one full circle, times it by a half to get a semicircle. Pi times the radius. The radius is half the diameter. We can tell that the 7 is the diameter of the actual semicircle. We need the radius. Half of 7 is 3.5 squared times half to get a semicircle. Now let's work it out. Pi times 3.5 squared times a half, 19.2422, and it keeps going. Now we are going to multiply it by 2. Why? Because there are two semicircles. $38.484, and it continues. Now we have the area of the rectangle, and we're going to take away the area of the two semicircles. The semicircle on top and the semicircle on the bottom, together they make 38.48. Before we take away, I want to show you that in fact a semicircle on top and a semicircle on the bottom make one full circle. So we could have just said pi r squared, and we would have got straight away the answer 38.48. But I just wanted to show you that we are working two semicircles, and we halved it, then we doubled it again, and we got one full circle anyway. Now let's take away the two semicircles from the rectangle. 84, take away the two semicircles, 38.484, etc. Our answer is going to be 45.52 square centimeters, rounded off to the nearest two decimal places. Very important. The question says round off to the nearest two decimal places. And of course, never ever round off until the end. There's no way you can round off here or here. Always round off right at the end. Your final answer, that's when you round off, and that's what we did. In fact, the answer in the actual calculator is 45.515. 45.515, and we know the 5 pushes the 1 up, rounds it up, becomes 45.52. Very important with rounding off, you do it correctly or else your answer is going to be wrong. This question was not hard, but again, you need to look at the details. Look at the details and you get them right. Here we had a rectangle, take away two semicircles, we found the shaded region there in red. That's how easy it was.